13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German met each other at school when they were both in 6th grade. They soon realized that they had common interests and hobbies, and it did not take long before the two became inseparable. Known affectionately as Abby and Libby, the two best friends enjoyed the outdoors. They would often go hiking, fishing, and biking together. They were also quite fond of nature photography. They were active in school clubs, and both played alto saxophone in the Delphi Community Middle School. The girls also excelled academically, and they were both very ambitious and driven. Abby aspired to be a police officer, and Libby wanted to become a science teacher. Abby and Libby were described as loving and affectionate. And though the girls shared many similar interests, they were polar opposites when it came to their personalities. Libby was a bold girl who was very straightforward, whereas Abby was more shy and reserved. The two girls, however, were always together and shared a bond stronger than most. February 13, 2017, was a Monday. It was unseasonably warm for a winter morning, and it also happened to be an off from school. Libby lived with her older sister, Kelsey, at their grandparents' house. Abby often spent time at Libby's house, and on the night before, they had a sleepover. On that rare winter morning, the girls wished to make the best of the pleasant weather and sought permission from Libby's grandparents to go hiking. Libby's grandmother, Becky, agreed to their request on the condition that they secure a ride back from the hiking trail. Libby convinced her father, Derek, to pick them up after he was done running errands for the day. Derek promised that he would call Libby at around 3 p.m. to collect them. Sometime during noon, Abby and Libby asked Kelsey if she could drop them off at the local hiking trail. As Kelsey was going to pass the same route that day while on her way to her boyfriend's house, she agreed. At approximately 1:45 p.m., Kelsey dropped Abby and Libby off at the abandoned Monon High Bridge at the Delphi Historic Trail. The young teenagers enjoyed their afternoon together, talking, laughing, taking scenic pictures and uploading them on Snapchat, the social media app that Libby frequently used. Libby uploaded a picture of Abby walking along the secluded Monon High Bridge at 2:09 p.m., and all seemed to be going well for the girls. The Monon High Bridge is an old, out-of-use, railroad bridge that was built in 1881. Due to its deteriorated condition, the bridge was closed off with a red metal barrier to prevent people from crossing the bridge. One would have to tread very carefully and watch their footing to cross the bridge safely. At 3:11 p.m., Derek texted Libby to let her know that he was on his way to pick them up at their arranged meeting point. When Derek arrived at the Mary Gerard entrance at 3:13 p.m., the girls weren't there. He waited a few minutes before he called Libby's cell phone. When she did not answer after multiple calls, Derek proceeded to the trails to search for the girls. After having no luck in finding them, he panicked and phoned his mother Becky to inform her of the situation. Family members tried calling Libby, however, her phone just kept ringing. Another concern was that Abby did not own a cell phone, so their only hope was to keep calling Libby. At 4 p.m., Becky called her husband Mike, who was at work, to let him know of the situation. It wasn't long until Mike drove up the trail and began searching for the girls. Even Kelsey joined her father and grandfather in the search. Libby's uncle, Cody, had also decided to join them. Around 5 p.m., Derek, Becky, Kelsey, Mike, and Cody were all at the trail searching for Abby and Libby. They had even followed a driveway under the bridge that connected several residences, and knocked on the doors of these homes to ask if anyone had seen the two girls. But no one had seen them. After searching for more than an hour, at around 5:20 p.m., Mike contacted the police and reported Abigail and Liberty as missing. By 6 p.m., as darkness fell, authorities had arrived at the scene and they, along with 100 local volunteers, as well as the Delphi Fire Department and the Department of Natural Resources, began searching the hiking trail throughout the night. Close to midnight, the search was called off due to safety concerns regarding traversing the rough terrain in the dark. They decided to resume the search in the morning. Although the search was officially called off, local volunteers continued to scour the area until the morning. The search officially resumed shortly after sunrise at 8:15 a.m. on February 14th. About 100 searchers were distributed maps and divided into groups of 10 to 20 people. One of the volunteers asked Kelsey what shoes the girls were wearing, and she replied that Libby was wearing black Nike sneakers. The volunteer had found a single black shoe, and Kelsey dreaded what was about to come. Around noon, after an extensive search, one volunteer noticed two curious deer, examining the forest floor. When he approached the deer, he made the grim discovery. The lifeless bodies of Abby and Libby were found. The bodies were found on the north side of Deer Creek, on private property less than a mile away from the south end of the bridge. By 1 p.m., authorities secured the crime scene. The FBI and Indiana State Police worked 24 hours a day, over the course of the following several days to collect crime scene evidence. Police have never actually revealed how the girls lost their lives, but they did reveal something spine-chilling the following day. Libby had captured images on her cell phone of a middle-aged Caucasian man walking on the trail. He was wearing a blue windbreaker, blue jeans, a brown hat, brown boots and a hooded sweatshirt. At the time the photo was publicly released, police clarified that they did not consider him a suspect, but that they would like to speak to him. It wasn't until the following Sunday that Indiana State Police officially announced that the man in the photo was now considered a suspect in the investigation. On February 22, police revealed that Libby had also captured an audio recording of the suspect on her cell phone. On the audio clip, the suspect can be heard saying, "Down the hill." Libby had the presence of mind to conceal her phone, and also began recording a video. Police would publicly release the audio and the video footage, almost 2 years later. As investigators remain tight-lipped, little details are known about the investigation. For instance, authorities refuse to reveal the cause of death, or comment on the existence of the murder weapon. However, it is known that in the days after the murders were committed, investigators conducted several door-to-door interrogations, and thoroughly investigated the 12 sex offenders in Delphi, as well as the hundreds of sex offenders in the surrounding cities. They interviewed over 1,000 people, including family, friends, acquaintances and others. Most even gave voluntary DNA samples, but no leads ever surfaced. Though this information was never publicly released by investigators, the police transcripts state that the girls' undergarments were located in the creek beneath the bridge. A relatively fresh cigarette butt was also found in the vicinity of the creek. On July 17, a few months after the murders, police released a composite sketch of the man in the video. A witness had come forward, claiming that she was confident that this man was in the vicinity of the hiking trail the day Abby and Libby were murdered. According to the witness, the suspect did not have blue eyes, and was between 5 foot 8 inches and 5 foot 10 inches tall, weighing between 180 to 220 pounds, and had reddish-brown hair. After the composite sketch was released, many internet sleuths started posting side-by-side images of people they believed to be the suspects. The first big publicized break that would bring the case back to surface was the arrest of Daniel Nations, who was apprehended at a traffic stop in Colorado for wielding a hatchet and threatening people on a trail. Nations would later be suspected of the murder of Tim Watkins, an unsolved murder that had occurred on the same trail only 2 weeks prior. Nations had an extensive criminal record including petty offenses, domestic violence, and is also a registered sex offender. Indiana State Police took DNA samples of Nations, and stated that he was being looked at, but he was not at the top of their priority list. On February 14, the day after the murders were committed, Nations was present for his weekly checkup with authorities, and had been consistently attending in the time prior. He was later ruled out as a suspect. Another person of interest, then 53-year-old Thomas Bruce, a former pastor, surfaced in November of 2018. On November 19, Bruce entered a religious supplies store in St. Louis, Missouri, where he forced 3 women into a back room, and ordered them to disrobe and perform sexual acts. However, one of them refused to comply with Bruce's demands, and was fatally shot in the head. Indiana State Police contacted St. Louis Police, after noting physical similarities between Bruce and the composite sketch. When asked if Bruce had any connection to the Delphi murders, Indiana State Police answered that it was too premature to say. Indiana State Police has not commented on Bruce since. By 2019, another person of interest came to light. In January of 2019, then 46-year-old Charles Eldridge was apprehended during an undercover sting operation in Union City, Indiana, after he arranged to have sexual intercourse with a Randolph County police officer that was posing as a 13-year-old girl. Eldridge was charged with 2 counts of child molestation. Many locals remarked at the resemblance Eldridge bore to the composite sketch, and the police pursued this new avenue of investigation. However, none of these persons of interest led to an arrest, and as of now, investigators are still searching for the suspect. FBI agent Greg Massa presented a behavioral profile of the suspect, and asked the public to report anyone who displayed a sudden change in their behavior or appearance after the Delphi murders. On April 19, 2019, Indiana State Police released a statement in a press conference. Superintendent Doug Carter stated that they were seeking the public's help in identifying the driver of a vehicle that was parked at the old welfare building in the city of Delphi that was abandoned on the east side of County Road 300 North, next to the Hoosier Heartland Highway between the hours of noon to 5 on February 13, 2017. Carter also stated that they were releasing additional portions of the audio clip, along with footage of the suspect captured on Libby's phone. The entirety of the audio recording captured Abby and Libby's final moments of life. Authorities explained that the audio started off with the friends discussing normal girl stuff, talking and laughing. When they noticed the man on the bridge, their tone suddenly changed and it seemed that they were anxious and uneasy. Carter also added that they believed the person shown in the new composite sketch was the killer, and they also believed that this person was either a current resident of Delphi, or had previously lived here. Police were now confident that the killer was familiar with the hiking trails in Delphi, and was probably between the ages of 18 and 40, but might appear younger than his true age. During the press conference, Carter also directly addressed the killer, and said that he will be caught because he would have told someone what he has done, or at the very least someone would know his truth, because they would have noticed a change in him since the murders. Some people have criticized the Indiana State Police's handling of the investigation, and how they've kept details of the case hidden from the public. Carter addressed the criticism by explaining that only they and the killer know the cause of death, and that they can't show their full hand just yet. 3 years later, Abby and Libby's brutal murder case still remains unsolved. But authorities remain confident that they will soon catch the killer. A team of investigators continues to work the case, tracking down thousands of leads. And each day, investigators start by saying their motto, "Today is the day." In August 2017, the families of Abigail Williams and Liberty German jointly announced that there are plans to build a sports complex in the memory of their slain daughters. Libby's mother, Anna, requested homeowners across central Indiana to have orange lights installed on their front porches, both to commemorate the girls, as well as to indicate that the murderer remains at large. People of Delphi continue to place orange light bulbs on their homes, in solidarity with the victims' families, and representing everyone's commitment to bringing the killer to justice. If you have any information regarding the case or would like to share your opinions, let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we hope you found our video interesting. Like, comment and subscribe for more fascinating unsolved mysteries.